Okay, so let's unpack this. Picture yourself in London, maybe needing a quick doctor's visit, I don't know, somewhere like Clapham,
Uh-huh.
or maybe a specialist appointment near Shoreditch, and you need it today.
Right. It's urgent.
That's the first thing you do. You probably reach for your phone, yeah.
Almost certainly.
But see, in 2025, finding that healthcare clinic isn't quite as simple as just a basic search anymore.
Mm.
It's getting a bit more complex. You've got chatbots, AI assistants, starting to, well, factor into how people find information, healthcare included.
That's a big shift.
Definitely. So for any clinic in London, doesn't matter if it's a tiny physio place in Kensington or, a big private hospital group, being easily found online is just, well, fundamental. It's how you connect with patients.
Mm.
We've got a really interesting stack of sources here, actually, focusing on exactly this challenge.
Good stuff.
So we're doing a deep dive specifically into two major forces that are shaping how London clinics need to think about growth, about visibility right now.
Okay, what are they?
First, local SEO. That's all about showing up where people are physically.
Makes sense.
And second, AI tools, particularly things like, well, ChatGPT, which are changing how we create content, how we communicate.
Right, the efficiency angle.
Exactly. So our mission today is really to distill the most valuable insights from all this material. We want to understand how these two things work together. How they help clinics get found, maybe answer questions faster, keep their online presence vibrant, all without hopefully overwhelming the already busy healthcare teams.
That's the dream, isn't it? Less overwhelmed. But look, before we even get into the exciting possibilities, one of the most critical points, and frankly, it's quite sobering, highlighted right away in these sources, is the risk.
Okay, important.
Yeah, the significant risk involved if these tools, especially AI, are used carelessly.
Right.
This isn't just, making a simple marketing mistake. The dangers are serious.
Like what specifically?
Things like accidentally leaking sensitive patient data, maybe on platforms that aren't secure,
Oh, wow. Okay.
or inadvertently publishing medical information that's flat out incorrect, maybe even harmful,
Yeah, you can't have that.
or unknowingly falling foul of the really strict healthcare advertising laws. It just underscores that patient safety, legal compliance, they have to be the absolute top priority. And the material we looked at is crystal clear on the non-negotiables, the safety measures you just have to have.
Okay, like what?
You must always rigorously fact-check anything an AI generates before it goes public. Absolutely critical.
And human review.
Always.
Yeah.
And crucially, never input any identifiable patient information into any general AI tool. Just don't do it.
Got it. Anonymize everything.
Completely. Always use clear disclaimers where they're needed, and any clinical content, anything aimed at patients online, must be reviewed and approved by a licensed medical professional before it goes live.
Okay.
This foundation, this responsible, human-led oversight, it's essential before you even think about leveraging the benefits.
Absolutely. That safety net has to be firmly in place first. So, okay, with that critical understanding locked in, let's dig into the first piece of this puzzle. Local SEO.
Right.
You mentioned that scenario. Someone in Clapham needing a GP right now.
Yeah, the urgency.
They're not just casually browsing, are they? They have an immediate need. They're typing things like, GP near me, maybe podiatrist near Shoreditch.
Or private GP Kensington walk-in, urgent care clinic East London. Those kinds of specific local searches.
Exactly those.
And what the sources really emphasize here is that local SEO is precisely the mechanism that's built to capture those urgent geographically specific searches.
Okay.
It ensures your clinic actually appears right where potential patients are looking for care, in their immediate area.
So it's more than just general website ranking.
Oh yeah, much more. It goes beyond standard rankings. The real prize, according to this material, is visibility in the local pack.
That's the map box at the top of the search results.
That's the one. The data we saw confirms that this is where a huge majority of patients looking for local services click first. It's prime real estate.
Okay, so getting found locally, getting in that local pack, that's step one. But then, how do you build trust once someone sees you there?
Good question.
This is where it gets really interesting, I think, and connects back to the human element. Online reviews.
Yes, crucial.
The sources basically highlight reviews as the modern version of word of mouth, and they carry enormous weight.
They really do.
There was one statistic that really jumped out at me, something like 75% of patients check online reviews before they choose a healthcare provider.
75%, that's massive.
It is. So think about the consequence. If your clinic doesn't have recent positive reviews people can easily see,
Mm.
even if you are in the local pack, you could basically be invisible to 3/4 of potential patients.
That statistic really changes how you think about online visibility, doesn't it? It's
Totally.
not just about being seen, it's about being seen, well, favorably. So what the sources recommend clinics actually do about this is proactive management. Don't just wait for reviews to happen.
Okay, how?
Make it a standard part of your patient journey to ask for them after appointments. Maybe a simple email or an SMS link. Keep it easy.
Makes sense.
And it's also really important to respond to reviews, both the good ones and the bad ones. Always professionally, always with empathy,
Even the negative ones.
especially the negative ones, often. Shows you're listening and you care. And then, don't hide your good feedback, showcase it on your website.
Okay.
All of this not only builds that patient confidence, but it actively signals to search engines like Google that your clinic is active, engaged, and trusted.
Yeah.
Boosts visibility too.
Okay, so we've covered getting found locally with local SEO
Yeah.
and building that crucial trust through managing reviews. But let's be honest, running a clinic is incredibly demanding.
Understatement.
Right, adding more digital marketing tasks, like constantly writing content, can feel almost impossible for busy staff.
Yeah, where does the time come from?
This is where the sources talk about AI, specifically tools like ChatGPT as a potential, maybe like a digital assistant, to help lighten that load.
Exactly. Think of AI stepping in to help with some of those more time-consuming content creation tasks.
Okay.
The sources list quite a few specific ways it can assist. Things like drafting patient-friendly blog posts.
Like translating medical jargon.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Taking existing internal documents, maybe FAQs the reception team uses, and turning them into engaging website content. Writing social media captions. Helping build email marketing campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
Even just brainstorming relevant content ideas based on, say, seasonal health trends. They give a really practical example prompt, actually. Imagine asking ChatGPT something like, write a 600-word article for our West London clinic titled, What to Do If You Have a Sore Throat This Winter.
Okay.
And you'd add instructions like, keep the tone warm and helpful, avoid medical jargon, and definitely do not offer specific medical advice.
Right, the disclaimer.
Always. The key point here, which the sources really stress, is that the AI provides a draft.
Not the final product.
No, never. It gives you a solid starting point, maybe gets you 70–80% of the way there, but then your team step in to personalize it, add clinic-specific details, double-check the accuracy, and give it that essential human touch and clinical sign-off.
So it cuts down the blank page problem.
Exactly. Significantly cuts down the time spent just staring at a blank screen, wondering where to start.
That makes a lot of sense. Use AI to get the ball rolling, then add the expertise and the local flavor. So this leads us nicely to what the sources seem to identify as the real power move here, bringing local SEO and AI like ChatGPT together.
Yes, the synergy.
How can clinics combine these tools effectively to create something, more powerful than just using them separately?
Well, what's fascinating is how they complement each other. Local SEO tells you where patients are looking and what they're looking for locally.
Okay.
And AI helps you create the content that attracts them in those specific locations and do it more efficiently.
Right, connecting the where and the what.
Exactly. The sources outline several combined strategies. One really key way they suggest is writing blog posts that aren't just about a general medical topic, but are deeply tied into the local context.
Why that's so important?
Because a patient in London searching for health information wants it to feel relevant to their life here in London. It builds connection. Take a post about asthma, for instance. It becomes way more impactful if it talks about London's specific air quality issues.
Yeah, or the really bad pollen seasons we get sometimes.
Exactly. Or pollen counts relevant to the city. The material gives a great example prompt for this. Write a blog post titled Managing Asthma in London During Spring for a private respiratory clinic in Camden.
Very specific.
Yeah, and it adds, include local tips and advice relevant to Camden residents. So you're using AI for the initial draft speed, but layering in the clinic's vital local knowledge for relevance and, importantly, for local SEO power. Another powerful application mentioned is using AI to help build out a year-round content calendar much more quickly.
That's often a struggle.
Totally. Instead of agonizing over topics each month, you can use ChatGPT to brainstorm helpful, genuinely useful, non-promotional content ideas. Tie them to seasonal health concerns.
So you stay relevant all year.
Exactly. Keep your clinic visible. Think about suggested prompts for, say, January, focusing on blood pressure after the holidays.
Right.
April, maybe tackling allergies common in London, or September covering back-to-school health checks, that kind of thing. Yeah. The sources also show how AI can help you get more mileage out of knowledge you already have.
How so? Repurposing.
Yeah, exactly. It can quickly help repurpose older content, maybe update a flu prevention post from a couple of years ago using the latest NHS guidance.
Smart.
Or take a quite technical patient information leaflet and turn it into maybe 2 or 3 easy-to-digest blog posts. More content from existing assets. And remember, we talked about reviews.
Yeah, the 75% stat.
Well, AI could assist there too, potentially. Some more advanced AI tools can help generate draft response templates for common feedback, saves time typing the same thing. They can also analyze the sentiment across hundreds of reviews to spot trends. Like, what are patients consistently praising? Or what are the recurring complaints?
Useful for service improvement.
Definitely. And flag important feedback, but the sources reiterate again, a human must approve every single response before it goes out.
Maintaining authenticity.
And patient trust. Absolutely essential.
It really does sound like it's about using AI as a smart assistant, doesn't it? To get started, get organized, draft things, and then applying that absolutely essential human judgment, clinical expertise, and local knowledge layer on top.
That's the key balance.
The sources also look ahead a little bit, which is interesting, hinting at how AI is changing search itself, with tools like Google Gemini or Perplexity.
Yeah, the rise of AI summaries in search results.
And how clinics can actually optimize for that.
This points to a bit of a shift, yeah. Search engines, and now these AI tools, they're getting better at understanding website content more deeply. They need more structured data.
Okay, what does that mean practically?
Well, this is where something called schema markup comes in.
Schema markup?
Yeah, essentially it's code you add to your website, invisible to users, that explicitly tells search engines and AI exactly what your content is about.
Like labeling it.
Kind of. Defining your business as a local business, or specifically a medical clinic. Clearly marking up FAQ schema so an AI can easily pull out questions and answers for summaries. The material even includes prompt examples for generating this code, like asking an AI to generate local business schema for a dental clinic in London, specifying things like opening hours, address, phone, insurance accepted.
So the AI can write the code for you.
It can generate a draft, yes, which again needs checking, but it helps make sure your clinic information is correctly interpreted by both traditional search engines and these newer AI tools. And then there's this concept they mentioned called GEO, generative engine optimization.
Okay, another acronym, GEO.
Basically, it's SEO, but specifically aimed at optimizing your content so these AI assistants can understand it well and use it accurately when they generate summaries for users.
Right. So how do you do GEO?
The tips provided are pretty straightforward, actually. Things like consistently include local details, boroughs, landmarks in your website content.
We talked about that with blogs.
Exactly. Write concise, clear answers to common patient questions directly on your site, maybe in an FAQ section. Implement that schema markup we just discussed.
Got it.
And just generally keep your website content fresh and up to date. They even give an example prompt for creating a meta title and description for, say, a sports injury treatment page in East London, designed to work well for both standard Google and AI summaries.
The material also does a good job anticipating some of the practical questions clinics might have.
Like the hurdles.
Yeah. Like, can you actually use ChatGPT for social media posts? The answer seems to be yes, but review very carefully.
Always review.
How do you get more reviews? Well, ask. After appointments, use email or SMS. Is using AI even allowed under healthcare rules like GDPR?
Important one.
Yeah, and the answer is yes, provided you ensure patient data is completely anonymized and you comply strictly with all data protection laws.
Non-negotiable.
What if a clinic just feels they don't have the time for any of this?
Common feeling, I bet.
The sources suggest starting small, maybe just one AI-assisted blog post or FAQ response a month. Just dip your toe in. And can AI help with the technical SEO stuff, like generating that schema code? Yes, it can assist with that too.
It addresses those common but questions. Exactly. I think the overarching potential that these sources really highlight is that this combination enables London clinics to do more than just appear in local search results.
Right. It's more than just visibility.
Yeah, it helps them better educate and reassure patients before they even step through the door. It helps build that trust proactively. And ultimately, yes, facilitate more bookings by making the whole process smoother and more informative for the patient.
So, okay, based on everything we've kind of unpacked from this material today, what are the really tangible, actionable steps a London clinic, or maybe someone supporting one, could take, like, this week?
Make it concrete.
Yeah, the sources actually provide a pretty neat little action
Oh,
checklist.
good. Let's hear it.
Okay, first, identify just 3 questions your clinic team hears over and over again from patients. Just 3 to start.
Manageable.
Second, ask ChatGPT to draft some initial answers, or maybe even short blog posts based on those specific questions. Get that first draft.
Okay.
Third, and this is really key for the local SEO impact, make sure you add local details back into that content. Mention the specific borough, maybe a nearby tube or train station, relevant NHS info if appropriate. Make it undeniably London-centric.
Ground it locally. Crucial.
Fourth, publish that new localized content, put it on your clinic's website, and importantly, add it to your Google business profile too.
Get it out there.
And finally, step 5. Start small on the technical side. Use ChatGPT to help generate the correct schema markup for just one key service page on your website. Get it checked and add it there.
Nice. Breaks it down into really manageable first steps. If we connect this back to the bigger picture, your clinic's digital presence, it really isn't just some supplementary tool anymore, is it?
No, it feels much more central now.
It truly functions as its primary front door in the modern patient journey. So the goal with these tools, using local SEO for that targeted visibility and AI for efficiency in content and communication, is really to make that digital door wide open, make it incredibly welcoming, and make it impossible for the patients who need your specific care right there in your local London area to miss finding you.
Yeah, this deep dive into the sources, it really clarifies how powerful that combination can be. Local SEO's precise targeting, AI's content generation capabilities. For London clinics looking to grow, it's a potent mix. But as we've said, it has to be approached strategically and, like we emphasized right at the start, always, always anchored by safety and that essential human oversight.
Absolutely.
And it's worth noting, the insights we've explored today, they come from material provided by someone with specific hands-on experience in digital marketing within the healthcare sector. So it brings a valuable perspective on these quite unique challenges and opportunities.
What's truly fascinating here, I think, is the underlying challenge this all presents for clinics going forward.
How so?
Well, as patients become more and more accustomed to turning to AI tools for quick information for summaries online, clinics find themselves in a landscape where just being discoverable is increasingly linked to these technologies.
Right, you have to play the game to be seen.
Kind of. So the big question becomes, how do they navigate this? How do they leverage these tools for efficiency and discoverability while ensuring that their fundamental, irreplaceable strength?
The human touch.
Exactly. The empathy, the established trust, that human relationship between a patient and their actual healthcare provider. How do they ensure that remains the ultimate differentiator, the core reason patients choose them, even while AI helps facilitate that initial connection?
That's a really compelling question, isn't it? Something for clinics to really consider as these tools become, well, just part of our everyday lives.
Definitely something to think about.